In the book, The Little Prince, it's written that a goal without a plan is just a wish. I want to talk to you about how to turn your business wishes into goals through a business plan. A business plan, at its core, is your goal and how to make that goal real. My name is John Colleton. I'm a business faculty member in the Montgomery College, and I'm recording this presentation for the Macklin Business Institute's Raptor Tank program. Hopefully this presentation can help you make a more effective business pitch and increase your likelihood of success in the competition. The Small Business Administration at SBA.gov is a portion of the federal government that is focused on being helpful for people who have an idea or a skill that might someday become a successful business. The SBA provides resources to learn how to start and run a business, and they not only have a lot of tutorials, but they also have samples of business plans. And I'll be using one of those in this presentation. Having a great idea is a good start, but to run a business, you need to answer some key questions, like who your customer is, when you expect to make a profit, and where do you expect to find the money to get started. These and other important questions need to be answered whether you decide to write a formal business plan or not. A formal business plan is composed of 9 parts, which will be reviewed in this presentation and include the executive summary, the company description, the industry and market analysis, organization and management, service or product line, marketing and sales, funding request, financial projections, and finally, the appendix. The executive summary is the most important part of the entire plan and is written only after all the other parts are complete. This is your chance to impress a prospective investor with how amazing your idea is, how well thought out your plan is, how skilled your business team is, and when you expect a return on their investment. Typically, from 1 to 3 pages long, this is the critical marketing segment of the plan, because if an investor is not impressed in these first few pages, they will not go any farther. Often, this section will include a 1 to 2 sentence recap of each of the other sections of the plan, allowing someone to quickly see the most important elements of the plan all summed up. The company description is where you will tell your reader what solutions your company provides, what makes you unique in the marketplace, and why you will be successful. This is often a good time to include a company mission statement and introduce the most senior members of the management team. You may want to include any special skills or qualifications that your leadership possesses and how that will help ensure success. The company description should also include information about the industry and the expected competition. All successful businesses have some sort of competition, and recognizing where your competition will be coming from lets you be better prepared to deal with them. The description may be as specific as a particular street address or special items on the menu, or more general and include the vision of the company without a lot of specifics. The more details you can provide, the more concrete the concept becomes, and the more likely an investor will want to participate. The first question to be answered in a market analysis is, who is your target customer? And do they exist in sufficient numbers in this area to allow your company to be profitable? You need to know and be able to articulate who is most likely to want to buy your goods or services, and how you are able to reach them and let them know about your company. Part of this analysis also includes where your customers prefer to shop, in brick and mortar stores or online. When do they like to shop? What are they willing to pay? How do they prefer to pay? And what kind of follow-up service do they expect? These are just some of the questions that help you understand your customers. The industry market analysis should also provide a brief overview of the business environment for your type of business. This includes an understanding of how large the industry is in your area and who are the most likely competitors, along with why they are so successful. If you can show an understanding of your competition's strengths and competitive advantages, you have a better chance of convincing investors that your vision is unique and likely to be successful despite the actions of your competitors. While the market analysis looks at factors external to your company, the organization and management analysis looks specifically at your company and how it's going to be run. One of the first decisions is the legal structure of the company. Will you be organized as a sole proprietorship, a partnership, a limited liability company, or a corporation? Each of these structures has advantages and disadvantages, and as a business owner, you need to decide the best structure for you. This section also allows you to provide more detail on the senior management team and their individual skills and qualifications. Resumes or CVs of each key team member can be included in the appendix of the plan. An organizational chart may be helpful to show the relationships and reporting structure of key members of the company. The service or product line is the description of the services or the products you plan to offer, and your plan for day-to-day operations of the business. This is your chance to enthusiastically describe what your product or service is and why it's better than the competition. This is your competitive advantage. This is the chance to be specific about what the market needs and how your company is meeting that need better than any of your competitors. In this section, you also address how you will manufacture the goods to be sold or provide the services offered. If you are producing a product to be sold, then you should identify who will provide you with the raw materials, and where and how will you assemble those into a finished product. How much of your goods will you make yourself, and how much will you buy from an external source? How reliable is that external source? Do you need any special equipment or designs or copyright permissions to make your product, and how will you get them? How many workers do you expect to employ initially, and what skills will they bring, and at what cost? All of these are the types of questions that can be answered in this section of the business plan. The role of marketing in a company is fourfold, so the business plan should address each of these elements. The first responsibility of marketing is to describe the target market. As discussed earlier, it's important to know who is most likely to be your customer, how to reach them, and are there enough customers for your company to be profitable. The second responsibility is pricing, both to attract customers and to provide sufficient profit so that your company can cover its bills. The third responsibility is to determine the most effective distribution strategies, which may include having customers come to the store, or delivering the product yourself, or contracting deliveries. The fourth responsibility is to develop promotions that the target audience will respond to favorably and will encourage them to shop at your business. Each of these should be addressed in your marketing analysis. In addition, a brief discussion of digital marketing strategies like websites and social media management should also be addressed, if that's a significant part of the marketing campaign. The funding request is an outline of how your company will be financed for those first few critical years of operation. This is an opportunity to clearly explain how much funding is required and what an investor can expect to get in return for those funds. One type of funding is selling part ownership in a company. So you may say that for some amount of dollars, the investor will receive some percentage of ownership in the company. If you're unwilling to give up ownership in the company, you can also borrow money. And this is where you outline the amount and length of the loan and what interest you're willing to pay for the use of the investor's money. In the funding request, you may want to provide information about how those funds will be used. Are you buying property or buildings or equipment or something else? You should also include a brief description of your strategic plan for paying off the debt, which may, in part, include selling the business if necessary. You may choose to include your financial projections as part of the financial request, or keep it as a separate section. Both are acceptable. The purpose of the financial projections is to build upon the financial request and look at expected income and expenses. This look at projected income and expenses is one of the most difficult parts of the plan, since being both realistic about growth and demand is a challenge for optimistic business owners. Of course, you think your business is going to be a great success, or else you wouldn't start it. But developing realistic projections can often make the difference between getting funding and getting rejected. Investors will take a very close look at your projections, since that's what can mean the difference between success and failure of their investment. Whenever possible, try to make your projections based on industry analysis and guidance from experts who've already done something like what you want to do, and be conservative. The projection for sales and production costs, labor and marketing are all your best guess. So try to make it a good guess by doing some research to support why you think these projections are accurate. The appendix may include resumes from the key team members, research to support your financial projections, patents, copyrights, or trademarks you plan to use in production, or any other relevant information that was not explored or explained in the plan itself. Although a business plan can realistically take weeks or even months to create, it serves as a guide to how you are going to take your wish and turn it into an actual business. Once the plan is created, it's worth the time to keep it up to date as your situation changes. Knowing you have a current guide to your goal will not only help keep you on track, but it will also serve as an excellent introduction to potential investors, so they can see that you are headed for success and they should tag along as your business partners.